Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will be continuing our topic of bacterial genetics and we'll be discussing a little about the bacterial growth stages. Before we learned about how bacterial genome will be transferred from one part of a bacterial cell to another part, like between plasmids and the chromosomes. And now we will be discussing how the DNA will be transferred between two bacterial cells. There can be three options like conjugation, transduction, and transformation. The conjugation is actually the transfer of the DNA through the pili from one bacterium to another bacterium. The transduction is basically the transfer of the genetic material through bacteriophages. The bacteriophages are the virus that infect a bacteria. The transformation is actually the direct transfer of the genetic material from one bacteria to another. This is called transformation. Now we will be discussing the details of all the three of them. Now the conjugation is actually the mating of two bacterial cells during which the DNA is transferred from the donor to the recipient cell. The process is controlled by a fertility plasmid which carries the genes from proteins required for conjugation, and one of the most important proteins is the pilin which forms the sex pilus. So whichever the bacteria would be having that fertility or F plasmid, it would be having the pili, and the other bacterium with which it will be conjugating itself will be F negative. The one that will be having that plasmid will be F positive, and the one that will not be having that plasmid will be F negative before the start of this conjugation. So the pili would be developed in that F positive bacterium, and it will be connected to the F negative bacterium further. This is a diagram that will be showing the sequence of the conjugation. In the number one step, there is actually that two bacterium would be coming close to each other, one with the pili and one without the pili. In the second step, there will be a connection, a bridge developed between this F positive and F negative bacterium. And after that, in the third stage, one of the ring of the plasmid will be transferred from F positive bacterium to the F negative bacterium. And in the last step, both of the bacterium will be having separate pili and both will be having the rings of plasmid. So the mating begins from F positive bacterium to F negative bacterium. The cells are drawn in direct contact by railing in the pilus. After the enzymatic cleavage of F factor plasmid, one strand is transferred across the conjugational bridge into the recipient cell. The process is completed by synthesis of a complementary strand to form a double-stranded F factor plasmid in both the donor and the recipient. And now the recipient is F positive cell that has F plasmid integrated into its DNA and acquire the ability to transmit it further. Now the transduction. This is actually the transfer of cell DNA by means of a bacterial virus. The virus that actually infects the bacterial cell, that is bacteriophage or the phage virus. So that during the growth of the virus within the cell, a piece of DNA is incorporated into the viral particle and is carried into the recipient cell at the time of reinfection. So in the first step, a virus would be infecting a bacterium. It will be integrating itself into the genome of the bacterium, and while exiting from that bacterium, it will be having a piece of that genome with it, and when it will be infecting another bacterium, that DNA piece, that genome piece would be transferred to the next bacterium. So this is actually the transduction. Within the recipient cell, the phage DNA can integrate into the cell DNA and the cell can acquire a new trait, a process called lysogenic conversion. The process can change a non-pathogenic organism into the pathogenic one, like it would be passing the genes that might be responsible for the production of some toxins, maybe some drug resistance genes, like for example diphtheria toxin, botulinum toxin and cholera toxin etc. are encoded by bacteriophages and can be transferred by transduction. Now the conjugation is actually the mating of two bacterial cells during which the DNA is transferred from the donor to the recipient cell. The process is controlled by a fertility plasmid which carries the genes from proteins required for conjugation, and one of the most important proteins is the pilin, which forms the sex pilus. So whichever the bacteria would be having that fertility or F plasmid, it would be having. So the specialized type occurs when the bacterial virus DNA that has integrated into the cell DNA is excised and carries with it an adjacent gene. Such phages usually integrate at a specific site in bacterial DNA. So from that specific site, it will be having a specific sequence of genome with it. These are the steps how a bacteriophage infect a bacterial cell and again transferring that part of its genome to another bacterium. Now the transduction. This is actually the transfer of cell DNA by means of a bacterial virus, the virus that actually infects the bacterial cell, that is bacteriophage or the phage virus. So that during the growth of the virus within the cell, a piece of DNA is incorporated into the viral particle and is carried into the recipient cell at the time of reinfection. So in the first step, a virus would be infecting a bacterium. It will be integrating itself into the genome of the bacterium, and while exiting from that bacterium, it will be having a piece of that genome with it, and when it will be infecting, so recombination is actually the process that once the DNA is transferred from the donor to the recipient cell by one of the three processes, it can integrate into host cell chromosome by this recombination process. So the two types of recombination, the homologous recombination is the recombination in which two pieces of DNA that have extensive homologous regions pair up and exchange pieces by process of breakage and reunion. While in case of non-homologous recombination, there is a little homology between the DNA that is inserted and the other one, the DNA that is actually present in the bacterial genome. So if little homology is present, this is non-homologous recombination. If homologous regions pair up, then this is called homologous recombination. Now we will be discussing the stages of bacterial growth. These are the steps how a bacteriophage infect a bacterial cell and again transferring that part of its genome to another bacterium. So the major phases of the bacterial growth are the lag phase. Number one is the lag phase. The second one is the log phase. Number three is the stationary phase, and The last one is the decline or death phase. Lag phase is basically the phase in which rapid metabolism occurs in bacteria, but still there is no bioinfection. The log phase is basically the rapid division phase of a bacteria. The stationary phase in which there is a balance between the new cells that are forming and the cells that are dying. And in the last phase of their growth cycle, there is the increased number of the dead cells and no new cells will be forming. So the lag phase is the vigorous metabolic activity phase. No cell division is there. It may occur for few minutes to many hours. Log phase is basically the rapid cell division phase, and there is a significance of this phase, that beta lactam drugs like penicillins, cephalosporins, that are having a beta lactam ring in them, the antibiotics that we would be uh, studying in pharmacology in detail. So there is a category of antibiotics that is called beta lactam drugs like penicillin, cephalosporins. They are having a beta lactam ring in them. That is the main uh, constituent of them that would be acting against the bacteria. So that beta lactam drugs, they usually act in this phase of bacterial cell division, and this is the phase when peptidoglycan layer of a bacteria is being synthesized. The stationary phase, in which there is nutrient depletion or toxic products growth decreased until the number of cells produced balances the number that die. And the death phase is basically the marked decline. There is a marked decline in the number of bacteria. This is actually called the bacterial growth curve regarding the four stages, the four phases of their growth. A little about the requirements, the oxygen requirements for the growth of bacteria. Oxygen utilization generates two toxic molecules like hydrogen peroxide and free radical of superoxide. Bacteria needs two enzymes to utilize the oxygen: superoxide dismutase and the catalase. Both of these enzymes are present in case of aerobic bacteria. The aerobic bacteria are those that can utilize oxygen, so they need these two enzymes to utilize oxygen, while the strict anaerobes are the bacteria which are actually lacking these two enzymes. So the obligate aerobes are the bacteria which definitely need oxygen for their growth, and the example is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The ATP generation system is actually dependent on the oxygen. In case of facultative anaerobes, these are the lucky bacteria that can divide themselves, that can grow in the presence or maybe in the absence of oxygen, like E. coli. They can utilize oxygen, they can use fermentative pathway to synthesize ATP if oxygen is absent. While the obligate anaerobe like Clostridium tetani, they cannot grow in the presence of oxygen because they lack enzymes like superoxide dismutase or catalase or both. Thank you so much.